While your experience in counterterrorism is legendary, and indeed today you're still involved with that type of work with, like you said, Red Cell Incorporated and SOS Temps, you're not the only retired SEAL counterterrorism expert. There's a great wealth of talent and resources. I believe you might refer to it as the Frog Network, I think. Are we not ignoring a potential vital resource and not using them both strategically in counterterrorism planning, like you were just talking about, and also tactically in areas of high risk, such as port terminals, and letting retired SEALs qualify up to the U.S. Marshal Standard and then carry on an airliner and back up the people who are there, or even lead in the case where there's no one else in law enforcement there?
We've missed the bubble on that, Charles. I mean, when TSA started out and decided that they had to have their marshals cadre, and they could only be 35, and they had to wear blazers, well, they stick out like you-know-what because they're in a uniform.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, maybe when I was a youngster, everybody got dressed up when they traveled, but now everybody's, they're in their jogging gear and their shorts, and, they travel in comfort. So to have somebody that looks like they're in a uniform or they are officialdom sticks out. Where we missed is one, just here at National Airport, Reagan National Airport in D.C., the heart of government, only about 20% of our flights are covered by marshals.
Mm-hmm.
One, we've been hit. Two, there's a lot of prime targets here, so I suspect we're pretty susceptible. But when we went to going to build the marshals, I said, okay, that's what you want to do. But like you alluded to, there's a whole cadre. I mean, there's ex-cops, there's ex-military, that for 5 days I could have certified on a weapons to know what's going on, and they could be under contract for a year or so many flights per year that are already retired. You don't have to give them a benefit package. You don't,
Or even one further than that. You give them 5 free flights a year, and you get enough of them going enough places that at any one time you can pretty well be guaranteed that they give them a free ticket for them and a free ticket for their spouse, and promise to fly 5 times a year and don't pay them a thing.
Yeah, I've had so many retired people say, hey, give me 10 flights a year and let my wife go with me, and they certainly would blend in.
Yeah. Absolutely. If you were running the war on terror briefly, because we're only 3:12 from the next break, if you were running the war on terror, what would change?
Well, I would do those kind of things. I mean, I would start using the pool of retired, the pool of things that we have available, and start circulating, getting people off their cheeks and doing things. Right after 9/11, I was on the circuit doing motivational and team building and all these speeches and book signings, and I'm on the road. And I get down to the state level, and states are waiting for the feds to either send them money or tell them the policy of what they're supposed to do. Meantime, the threat is there today. If you go a step further from that, then money starts to go down the state level out of Homeland, and, of course, the economy took a little hiccup, and so states are holding on to their money, saying, well, I have it here, but I better wait and see if and when I can spend it. I mean, we have some 2002 money we haven't spent yet out of Homeland Security, and then get down to the general population of what they can do, and when you get into the different programs like the Minutemen program and the Extended Neighborhood Watch, and just an awareness program to go on. And then if the Muslim radicals can train youngsters in the Quran and hating us and stepping off the magic carpet to come and get us, then we ought to at least have something in our school system that tells us the awareness of what to watch out for. I mean, just surviving. It's not going over there and getting them. It's how do you survive?
Maybe we just need to squirt their magic carpets with Scotch guards so they slide off of them.
Well, I've said it many times that I wouldn't want to bring bin Laden to trial and make him another martyr and a hero, and certainly don't want him in prison where he could recruit. I would belittle myself and take off his head and pour pig's blood on him, wrap him in pigskin, and let him know, I know, if that's his belief system, believe me, I know. Mm-hmm. Sure, there's going to be a following guide to him, but they'll think 3 or 4 times before they say, I'm not going to see Allah with this guy. He's kind of a wild one.
The blackjack Pershing solution. I had Charlie Daniels on this program about 1.5 years ago, and he said, if you want to get bin Laden, I'll tell you how. You come down to Tennessee and get some of my good old boys, and you explain to them in graphic terms how it was truly Osama bin Laden's fault that Dale Earnhardt died, and then you give them a letter of marque and reprisal and let them go over to Afghanistan, and 1 week later you'll have Osama.
Well, certainly with the websites and email, there's been a lot of those going on. But a lot of them that, like read, like, and just actually have a lot of fact to them.
Sure, you bet. The idea of private people, although it makes the government types go nuts. And then again, you're one of those private people, but then again, you are the beneficiary of government training before you went to become one of the private people. Richard, we're running right up to the first break, so I'm going to ask folks, this would be a great time.
You're listening to America Armed and Free on AM 690 KVOI.
Grenada and Afghanistan and Panama's just cause. Halo jumps and scuba swims were missions for the frogs. Somalia, East Africa, Iraq and Pakistan. Shooting, looting, sneaking, peeking, combat hand to hand. Hoo-yah, we're Navy SEALs. Hoo-yah, fire in the hole. Hoo-yah, we'll never quit. Hoo-yah, we're good to go.
And we are good to go on America Armed and Free, where we have the joy, the pleasure, and the honor of having with us Richard Marcinko, former Navy commander and former head of SEAL Team 6. In fact, you were the first head of SEAL Team 6, right?
Yes, I was.
How you like the music? A little different than you hear on most talk shows.
The dedicated, it makes me feel good, you know.
Cool.
And actually, you know, this is a kind of a sad weekend on the SEALs that you raised that one. This is a reunion weekend, the third weekend in July at Little Creek, Virginia Beach area, where we